I'm Ethan.
I'm Adam.
Welcome to Way to Manhood.
So, first off, last episode, I'm sorry.
A week ago when we recorded.
There you go.
Yeah.
So I said that about real men read. And there was a quote that I couldn't think of, and it's by Jim Rohn. And it basically says your level of success will never exceed your level of personal development. So that's where we were going with Real Men Read. Because if you want to progress, if you want to be successful, whether it's at whatever, if you want to be successful,
not just financially.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you read and study and try to improve.
Yeah.
That's where that was coming from.
Well, because, Fight Club was big when I was, the movie was big when I was younger. And I won't say the quote because it's kind of crude, but you know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. Kind of looking down on men who improve themselves. And it always bothered me. Because I'm like, well, if you're not trying to improve yourself, what are you doing? Mm-hmm. Not that I've spent the majority, my 20s were not spent, in some ways they were spent trying to improve myself. But if you look at my life as a whole, you'd be like, that guy he's never tried to do that. Mm-hmm. But it's always bothered me because if you're not trying to improve, and we talked about the way to manhood is the role, it's showing up as your best to whatever role you're in at that time. Fatherhood, husbandhood, your job, a friend, a member of your church, whatever it is. If you're not showing up at your best, you're not carrying the weight like you need to. If you're not trying to improve in each aspect of your life, you're not carrying the weight you need to carry. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying all of your time has to be devoted to it. Actually, there was a guy, back when I was in law enforcement, there was a guy that came to train us. And I don't remember what the training was. It was something to do with active shooter. I think it was active shooter training. And this guy, you could tell he breathed law enforcement. And he made a comment about how your hobbies should support your profession or something like that. Basically, he was saying, like, if you're in law enforcement, your hobbies need to reflect what you do. They don't need to be at odds with or irrelevant to your profession. And back then I rejected it because he was talking about how you should do firearms, as your hobby, combat sports, gym stuff, which back then I was, and we'll get into this in a little bit, I was starting to mentally move away from law enforcement, even though I was still in the job. And I rejected it. But now thinking back, like, yeah, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. It makes sense that your hobbies should align with what you do most of the time to feed off each other, if you can do it healthy. Mm-hmm. And once you become all absorbed in something, it stops being healthy. But if you can maintain a balance, then I think it's fine. Mm-hmm.
We want to come back to the law enforcement deal. So, two things from that conversation. So you mentioned Fight Club.
Yeah.
Are you a big movie quote person? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In my head all the time.
Yeah.
But the problem is I haven't seen a new movie in 10 years. So none of them are relevant or whatever the, what I'm talking
relatable
about.
to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, in my house, we're always dropping, movie quotes.
Yeah.
So, and the other thing, we were talking about, I read that Jim Rohn quote, and I know you're big into the founding fathers. Mm-hmm.
I have
And
a tattoo of George Washington on my arm.
Yeah. That's something that I would really like for us to get into at some point. Because
Tattoos of George Washington?
Stay on track here. But just the founding fathers and their routines and how similar, not comparing us to the founding fathers, but a lot of the things that they did, we do, in preparation.
I don't think it's bad to compare yourself because you're saying you emulate these great men of history. That's okay.
Yeah.
Right? We seek to be what like self-improvement. Not that we believe that we're capable of being these great men in history, but God puts us in places for a reason, which lends itself to what we want to talk about today with vocation.
Mm-hmm.
But God puts himself in these situations. It's not overly ambitious or self-gratifying or narcissistic, I think, to think that you're capable of great things because you know it's not coming from you.
Mm-hmm.
But then you also have the fallacy of the great man of history. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-mm.
So it's a way of looking at history instead of through events, it's through looking at people and thinking that because this person existed at this time, this happened. And the rejection of that is to say, well, it would have happened anyway, just with somebody else that came along. So it's kind of not to get political, but I think it's like a more left-leaning way of looking at history is to reject the people and embrace the events. Which, if we are fans of the Founding Fathers, clearly we kind of reject that anyway. But I cut you off to do all that, so I'm sorry. But yeah, we try to copy what they do.
Yeah. Or, well, it's not that we're trying to copy it. It's just that it's, ironically, I was listening to something the other day about the Founding Fathers, and I'm like, well, heck, that's a lot of the same things that we do.
Yeah. It's the podcast that we've plugged on the show.
Yeah.
The Art of Manliness.
Yeah, that's right. So, but that's something I'd like to touch on at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe,
well, we can even
a topic.
Read that guy's book that he had on.
Yeah.
It was about their routines, their reading. And it was, what was the book that he had focused on? Cicero, the Tusculan Disputations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And well, the last episode, when I said that about my my book stack growing, that's one of them.
Oh, yeah. You've got it already?
No.
Oh.
No, that's one that...
To buy.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. So we can come back to that at a later date.
We'll come back to all of it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
We may even forget that we've talked about it and come back to it as if it's fresh and brand new.
There you go. So, vocation. You said vocation.
I said vocation.
So we discussed that in Sunday school last Sunday. Vocation and...
I don't think I'd made it there yet.
Do I?
I think that was before I got in there.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I was playing music still.
Okay. So last Sunday morning in Sunday school, we discussed vocation.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Tell me more about that.
Yeah. So, just, the biblical definition of vocation would be like your calling.
Okay.
Not necessarily, we think of vocation and we think a job, which your calling is your job.
Yeah.
Or your job is your calling, however you want to look at it.
Hold on. I heard this thing the other day. Somebody said the reason people ask you what you do is they want to figure out how much respect they're supposed to give you. And that, it's obvious, but I hadn't thought about it like that.
Yeah.
And I'm going to start just inventing things.
Being dishonest?
Yeah. I thought I'd give it a try. It works for other people. Maybe it'll work for me. Just kidding.
No.
I'm just kidding.
So, vocation and calling.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like you missed your calling? You were supposed to be doing something instead of what you're doing now, or at some point?
Yeah. Well, sort of, but also not really. Because I used to feel like, well, this isn't what I'm supposed to be doing. This isn't what I'm supposed to be doing. This isn't what I'm supposed to be doing. Because I've talked, before about, it was on the episode of when I first felt like a man, all of the different jobs that I've had. And I've hopped around and kept thinking like, well, this isn't what I'm supposed to be doing. This isn't what I'm supposed to be doing. And I finally come to the realization that I don't think I equate worth or sense of belonging or place with your job anymore. It's what you bring to wherever you are. And for me, I can look back on my life and think, well, why the heck didn't I show up as a better man each day for this? Maybe I would have felt like a man. Maybe I could have called myself a man if I had realized that I could have brought my best self each day to each situation I was in. And it makes me frustrated with myself, but it also gives me hope that I can do that now.
Mm-hmm.
Every day now I can show up, and it doesn't matter what I'm doing. I just started this new company, and so this is what I'm doing now. I don't know what God has in store for me.
Well, and I think as you get older and you gain wisdom, you look back and see it that way.
Yeah.
The way you're saying, if you had manned up.
Yeah.
Did I say that right? Anyway.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So wisdom, you're saying wisdom is just that 2020 hindsight getting a little bit closer to being able to apply it to right now.
I heard somebody say one time
you just ignored me.
Yeah. Well, my mind was.
It was too late.
Yeah, and if I change the subject, I'll forget it.
Okay, go ahead.
But I heard somebody say one time, wisdom is something that you get 3 minutes after you needed it.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, and maybe in your 20s, it's years after you needed it.
Yeah.
And that's what I was saying when you interrupted me, was maybe as you get older, the wisdom catches up to the present, to where you start to, if you really apply yourself and pray about it and seek to bring your best self to each day, you can start applying that in real time.
Yeah.
And I think some people probably get that earlier than others. It doesn't necessarily have to come with age, but for me, it definitely did. It was my mid-30s before. And even what gets me is in my 20s, I was reading stuff about the founding fathers. I was trying to better myself. I don't know. Maybe I'm too harsh on myself, but I don't think so. I don't think so.
Well, and life causes you to mature. Things come up. Take, for instance, dealing with loss.
Mm-hmm.
Some people may have to deal with loss at such a young age, where you have other people that they don't deal with loss until they're much older.
Yeah.
So things like that, they have an effect on maturity.
Yeah. For me, and I shared that story about, I believe I shared it about losing that child when I was performing CPR. And it affected me then, but not as much. And it affects me less emotionally now, just with time, that happens. But I appreciate the things I have more now from that than I did back then, which is kind of bizarre to me because it was fresher and more in the moment. But I guess with wisdom and just the realization that when you're 20s, life lasts forever.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure when everybody else feels it, but now in my 30s, I'm realizing, oh, I may be halfway there.
Wait till you get to be in your mid-50s.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I know I've aged with the weight loss, but anyway.
You look amazing, doesn't he, guys?
Whatever. Anyway, now I've just totally lost my train of thought. So,
oh, you go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Well, let me flip it on you. Do you ever feel like you missed your calling?
Absolutely.
Okay, so we disagree on that. So,
yeah, I truly feel now. I love what I do.
Yeah,
and I do what I do for a reason.
which is sell big machines.
Shh, I can't say that.
You can say you sell big machines.
Yeah. Anyway,
I'm not going to say anything else. You just shush me on camera.
I enjoy what I do, but I've always felt like I should have gone into law enforcement. I have a lot of family that are in law enforcement, and when I was active duty, I wanted to, which I already had this plan, but aside from the plan that I already wanted to do,
Yeah,
I wanted to go to like CIA or something like that. I had an uncle that was in the FBI, and I've got family members that are highway patrol and
yeah.
And
did you do something? You were in the Coast Guard, Air Force. Sorry.
Now I'll say, I've got buddies that were in the Coast Guard, and
it would be cool.
Pretty, yeah. From the stories I've told, I've been told.
You've told their stories as your own?
That I've been told.
Sounds about right.
But it
would be cool. But
yeah, I think it would be a cool job.
You're supposed to crap on them.
Yeah.
We're supposed to.
Yeah.
Like Air Force. Chair Force. So what did you do in the Air Force? Is it classified?
One of my jobs was I was just I was a machinist. I made aircraft parts.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So, but that
was one of your jobs?
We all had other responsibilities. So anyway,
you had to go eat steak every day. You had to get up early enough to do your hair.
Yeah.
In the Air Force.
Exactly.
You tested all the chairs out to make sure that they worked properly. And then you had to do all this before you got off at 2:00 in the afternoon.
Now, you said that about eat steak.
Yeah.
Now, I was stationed at Aberdeen, Maryland, the Army Proving Grounds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Without the Air Force cooks?
I went into the enlisted chow hall.
Yeah.
Once. I went in. You
were
notice
enlisted.
I said went in.
But you were enlisted.
Exactly. And we were in the officers' barracks, and we ate at the officers' chow hall. But no, let me just tell you or ask you. So, yeah, you like to eat. You like to eat well, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. But what's wrong with that?
Well, in the service of your country, you can make some sacrifices. Food is fuel, Adam. And
exactly.
When I was in the Army,
the more food you get, the more fuel.
Okay. I will tell you, there was one time when I was in Korea that we had an Air Force detachment come up from, was it Osan? Is the Air Force base there? Come up from Osan.
Well, there's Osan and Kunsan.
It was Osan. Which we used to go to Osan on leave to just go visit the Air Force base because it was so nice. But we had, excuse me, an Air Force detachment come up to do this big, combined arms, whatever. When 4-stars come up, they just like to do special stuff to make them happy, make everybody feel better about themselves. Freaking joke. Anyway, we had this 4-star coming up, so we were doing this big combined arms. That's a 4-star general, by the way, for anybody that doesn't know. So we got this barracks, and we cleaned it. We repainted everything, put new beds in, all of this stuff. And the Air Force detachment gets there and walks in and walks right back out and says it's not up to their standard of living and booked rooms at the hotel on base. That was for like dignitaries. Okay. All right, cool. That's fine. I was a little salty about that until I went into our DFAC one day, which is dining facility, and we had lobster because apparently y'all didn't want to eat our food either. So they brought their own cooks. And dude, for 30 days, I've never eaten that good in civilian life. So I do probably just talk crap because I'm a little jealous.
Yeah, we could go to the chow hall 4 times a day, and
my gosh,
it was a spread. So you said dignitaries.
Yeah.
That one of my additional responsibilities was I escorted dignitaries.
Yeah.
When they would come on base.
One of my responsibilities was to shoot tank, make sure tanks shoot good, hit target. That was a tank gunner. And I guess we did have some additional duties, but it was pretty much just focused on shoot tank good.
So let's come back to the law enforcement thing here.
Oh, you don't want to hear about my
No,
stories anymore?
No, I want to go further with what you're saying.
Okay.
Do you ever feel less important now than you did when you were active duty?
Yeah. Well, I think I used to. And I think, sort of like I said, where I've kind of realized like my calling is just wherever God's got me at that moment. That's what helps me to accept it and be okay with it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I think I used to. We used to have the brotherhood, right? The guys you served with. You could literally despise each other and you'd take a bullet for them any day. And that doesn't exist.
No. Well, and since we're on this whole topic, so and a lot of civilians don't realize how things are in the military. I don't know about now, but how they were when I was in,
which was Vietnam era.
So if on base, that was the most secure place that you could be. You didn't lock your houses in base housing. You didn't lock your vehicle.
Yeah.
Even if you were, at the BX or whatever, because it was a safe environment. Kids could play. You didn't worry about them because everybody took care of each other. And something else that you said made me think, that brotherhood, trying to explain that to somebody that's never been there is like trying to explain to someone what it's like to love a child that has never had a child of their own.
Yeah.
But that brotherhood, no matter whether the other person was male, female, black, white, it none of that mattered, because to that person, your life meant as much as their own.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what that brotherhood was about.
Well, and it exists just inherently, but also when you go through stuff together And I never saw combat, so I'm not professing to go through that. But for instance, there was one time in had to be like the 12th or 13th week of our training, the one station unit training. I had a buddy named Break Bill from Maryland, and he and I were doing push-ups together. With the whole platoon was doing push-ups. He and I were right next to each other, and we were pretty much in shape. We maxed out our push-ups and stuff like that on the PT test. But once you do a few hundred, you're smoked anyway. You're gassed. So we're sitting there doing push-ups, and we'd gotten sent back to red phase for something stupid. And it was probably an hour in to getting smoked, and we just looked at each other and just died laughing. In the push-up position, which was called the front leaning rest, we just started
pushing the earth away.
Yeah, we just started laughing. We just broke in that moment, I guess. It was just like, this is hilarious. This is hilarious. I've never been in so much physical pain. This is excruciating. This is hilarious. And the drill sergeant came over because he heard us, and he saw us, and I guess he realized what had happened. He just kind of chuckled and walked away. And so he and I were already good friends after that. But after that, it was like, it was something a little different, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, of course, then we got in trouble a couple times together in Korea, which I'm not gonna go into that at all.
You know, and I've got a lot of buddies. I've got one that I was stationed with that he and I are still close. But a lot of those guys, I would like to reconnect with them.
Yeah.
But I've never done it. But isn't it funny how you can take, for instance, you walk in the gym and you just know, and you can tell other prior military.
Mm-hmm.
And, generally it's just the nod,
If you're going to talk to them, what do you say? Because I've got something that I just say every time. And it's not nice. Not ever like, hey, how's it going, man? Good to see you today. I just walk up and go, what branch?
Oh, yeah. And funny thing, a lot
but
of
not
times,
like accusatory like that.
Yeah.
That's not how I do it.
Yeah. And it's funny, a lot of times you could tell. When we were active duty, you could tell.
Yeah.
Because even, being on the Army proving grounds, we had different haircuts.
Mm-hmm.
So I left there and went back to an Air Force base, and people were like, "What's up with your hair?
What's wrong with you, man?" Do you guys call each other bro a lot? Or do you have to actually call each other? You had like official rank titles? I figured you just called your sergeants bro or whatever. I figured pretty relaxed like that.
Negative. Yeah.
Well,
and everybody was referred to by either a nickname or your last name.
Yeah.
Or,
Do you guys have nicknames like Iceman and Maverick? I know it's Navy, but
Negative.
No. Negative Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Yeah. We talked about the brotherhood. When I left the Army, and when I went into law enforcement, like I said, because I needed a job, because I was going to go back to school, and my grandfather had been chief of police, and I thought, well, that's probably a pretty good job. It's stable, and I was hoping like there would be another brotherhood to join, and this is going to get me in some hot water. That's okay. That's what we're here for, right? Hot takes. To a certain extent, there is. It is a brotherhood. There's that thin blue line mentality of, we're putting our lives on the lines for citizens, just like other first responders. But it was not the same. And I think it's not the same for a few reasons. One is you're interacting with the public. And in the military, you're not. You're just with each other. I mean, your whole job as a cop is to be there talking to the public. Standards aren't held strenuously for haircuts. It was, I get, but not as much, but physical fitness. Once you graduate from the academy, it's not a thing anymore, which I think there should be. If you call emergency services, you hope someone can show up that is capable of saving your life.
I gotta agree with you there.
Yeah. And I had never really served in the military alongside women, which was a shock for me. So going into law enforcement and working alongside women, and there were some female cops that were perfectly capable of doing what they had to do, and then there were some that were not. So that was kind of a shock. And the reason everybody was there in the military is a lot different, but you're all kind of the same too. Whether you're there because you wanted to go to college, whether you're there because you were broke.
It just...
You okay?
I knew...
Did somebody spike your Bang energy drink?
No, I knew a lot of people that was the only reason they enlisted was to get free college. And that just tore me up.
See, it never bothered me.
Yeah,
because it's not free anyway. You had to pay for it. They took money out of your check every paycheck for a year to pay for the GI Bill. Did you know that?
I'm just saying. No, I didn't know that. But
why did it bother you?
That because that wasn't my reason for enlisting.
It doesn't have to be. Okay, but you don't have to force it on everybody else.
Yeah, it is. In my opinion, it's...
You got mice in here?
Evidently so. Now,
welcome to the final episode of Wait a Minute. See, it never bothered me because and I don't know, maybe it was the job I was in. But it was obvious that everybody was there, even if for different reasons, they were there to do their job. And it was obvious the ones that weren't, but I don't know, it never bothered me.
So when things first kicked off in Iraq.
What years were you in? All joking aside.
90 to... I got off active duty in 94.
Did you do reserves or Air Guard or something?
Yes. Yeah.
What did you...
So back to where I was going.
Go ahead.
So when things first kicked off, they were sending different squadrons out and deploying. And I'll never forget, there was one guy, I want to say he was in armament shop or anyway, and we were A-10s. And
oh, that's cool.
Yeah, we were the Flying Tigers. Yeah.
That's cool.
With the teeth, yeah. But
the Warthogs.
Yeah.
Those are cool.
This guy said, I mean, his unit was shipping out, and he said, "I can't go. It's against my religion to take up arms against another man." And I'm like,
then why are you here?
Exactly. For free college?
Was he, or he was scared?
Well,
and it's okay to be scared, but your actions after feeling the emotion of fear is what really defines you.
Yeah. Well, and not only have mice, have bugs too. But that's the whole point of signing that blank check.
I agree. But everybody's different, man. There is an objective truth though. In alignment with.
And it's funny you went there.
Oh boy, okay.
Because in the book that we're reading, he addresses that in the first chapter in Men Without Chests. He addresses that.
Yeah.
Being willing to fight for your country and give your life for your country.
Yeah. It's a good book. Everybody should read it.
Yeah.
Abolition of Man by C.S. Lewis.
Join us.
Next week for Chapter 2.
So
you wanted to be law enforcement.
Yeah, I did. And, I asked that about, you ever feel less important? It's not that I feel less important. Because again, I love what I do, but I don't know. It was something about that purpose then.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like in the military, you feel this more of a sense of purpose.
A higher calling.
Yeah.
Yeah. I felt like that for a little bit in law enforcement. And I was just a city cop, just a patrolman. I felt like that for a little bit. And then it started to go downhill. Just my own personal experience. And if we have any law enforcement listeners, I'm not saying that this is your experience, but where I was at, we had some issues. It was more focused on optics a lot of time than it was doing your job. It was more focused on, I don't know. And maybe I'm just kind of soiled on law enforcement in general, but I just felt like I had started just abridging people's constitutional freedoms on a daily basis, and I didn't like it anymore. There was one time that really, and it still bugs me to this day. There was a veteran, a combat veteran, we found in a parking lot, and he was in his car, or in his sister's car or something, and he was drunk. He was really drunk. Not driving, laying in the back seat. The keys may have been in the front, I don't know. But just laying in the back seat and needed help. He was in a dark place. And I mentioned his sister, and this has been 15 years ago. No, 10 years ago. Something. I don't remember details, but needed help. And I had a sergeant at the time that, and looking back, I'm taking responsibility, and I'll get to that, ordered me to arrest that guy for public intoxication. And I said no, and he kept up with it, and I felt like I was going to get in trouble, so I did it. And talk about men without chests. Boy, that makes me feel like I had no chest. Because I should have told that sergeant exactly what I thought about him and where he could go. And I didn't. I listened to him. I didn't stand up for what I knew was right. And I arrested that poor vet for public intoxication, for being... It bugs me. They ended up dropping the charges because what court is ever going to convict that? Mm-hmm. And thankfully, the DA decided to not even go for a settlement. She just let him go. And as far as I know, he still works for the force, that sergeant. Mm. And I got sick of it. I used to get written up for not pulling over enough cars, not hitting we didn't have quotas for tickets. So it wasn't a money generator, but it was wanting to pull people over. We had a traffic division. It's like, I'll leave myself open for calls. So all that kind of spoiled me on law enforcement. And I really did feel like, because people are there for different reasons, like the military. Some people were there to help other people. Some people were there because they had a long line of law enforcement coming before them. And some people were there because they liked to be in power and they wanted to tell people what to do. And not to get into my politics, but I wasn't interested in messing with people that weren't hurting other people. If somebody is minding their own business and it just happens to be offensive to you, I'm sorry. I'm going to let them go. And just seeing abuses of power, and it got to me.
Well, and I think you you can see that same thing in so many different jobs, vocations.
Yeah.
Some people do what they do because they care.
Yeah.
Take for instance other first responders.
Yeah.
Some do it because they care. They want to help people. They want to make a difference.
Yeah.
Some people do it for a paycheck. I mean, yeah. We don't do what we do for free.
Yeah.
But to some people, it's not about the doing for someone else. It's all about the paycheck.
Yeah. Well, and that's why I started, was for the paycheck. But quickly I realized I really enjoyed helping other people. And I enjoyed the cause that everybody else hated. Like the domestics. We used to have domestic assaults all the time because unfortunately it's super common. But everybody hated those because, well, for one, if there's any physical assault, you have to arrest somebody. Which sometimes people didn't need to be arrested. And I'm not saying that like if you beat your wife or husband, you don't need to go to jail. Sometimes it would be ambiguous, but the law would say that we had to take somebody. And that's kind of screwed up. But I liked those calls where I could help people the most. And yeah, I don't know, man.
I think with me, it's more about making a difference. I see I see a lot of law enforcement that make a difference.
Yeah.
They do what they do because they love the people and they do a great job at it.
Yeah.
They do it with heart.
Yeah. There are a lot of those out there.
Yeah. But you see some that don't.
Yeah.
And it just, it's bothers
demoralizing.
You. Yeah. And it makes me want to make a difference.
Yeah.
And I think, also, and I'm going a different direction, but I've also thought for years about possibly going into politics because I know there's a lot of corruption, but you want to make a difference.
Yeah.
You want to change things.
Well, before we go into that, let me just say I wanted to give a shout out. This week, a cop that I used to work with passed away. He was maybe in his 40s, 50s. Well, I guess I knew him. He was in his 40s when I knew him 10 years ago, so he's in his 50s now, I guess, or he was. Him and his family were down at the beach about a month ago, and his youngest son got carried out with a riptide, and he swam out to save him. Saved him. As far as I know, I think I've got my facts right. He saved him, and on his way back, he drowned. The dad drowned, and either had a heart attack and drowned, or the drowning caused a heart attack. His oldest son swam out to save him. Everybody made it back in, but I believe I'm getting my story right. He's been in a coma ever since. They resuscitated him, but he's been in a coma ever since then, and he just passed away last week. Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, his name was Chuck Teeters, and he was a great guy. He was a pleasure to serve alongside, and he'll be sorely missed. But and I was telling one of my buddies who is still in law enforcement, not with that agency anymore. It's never a good thing to leave your family behind, but you died actively doing your duty as a father. Yeah. And you saved your son's life. But not only did you do that, you left your legacy by raising another son that saved yours, temporarily at least, but was capable of it. And man, if I could go out like that, not that I would choose to leave my family behind, but that's a man.
Yeah. And he was a hero in more than one way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, I didn't mean to.
No. That's good.
He deserves a shout out for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
So you've thought about politics.
Yep. Because I want to make a difference.
Yeah. Yeah. What's holding you back?
I can tell you exactly what's holding me back.
Yeah.
Something that you and my wife have in common. My wife can come back with a response like that.
Yeah.
Me, it's that grenade response, you know? No, you pull the pin, you throw it, and then it goes off.
Yeah.
And with me, I'll think of a really good comeback, either like 20 minutes later or once the conversation has gone a different direction, or the next day, I should have said this.
I do mine in the showers where my best comebacks come to my brain. I'm like, oh man, I really would have got him if I'd said that.
Yeah. But yeah,
that's your biggest thing holding you back from being a politician is
debate.
Oh.
Yeah.
I could see. Yeah. Yeah.
Public speaking.
Don't mind.
No. But it's I would think it would be the debate. Yeah. So
mine would be the skeletons in my closet, I think. Not that I never killed anybody, but I've done things I'm not proud of, and I don't want anybody to ever know about them. Yeah. And when you run for office, people just bring stuff up just to get themselves famous. Mm-hmm. And, I don't need that.
Yeah, that's true.
So, but that's a noble goal, politics. Yeah. And you know what? Maybe you can be like, I don't know, mayor of a small town or something, I could see, hold on. Oh, yeah. Yeah,
small town mayor.
You got small town mayor written all over you, buddy.
Like the mayor on Andy Griffith.
I'm not, as the kids would say, throwing shade at any small town mayors listening. Do you think we have any small town mayors that are listening?
I'm still.
You still think about Andy Griffith?
The throwing shade.
Oh, it means like casting aspersions upon. Talking crap about.
Okay.
Yeah. Throwing shade.
Yeah. See, I don't have any. We don't have any teenagers at home anymore. So. Yeah. I hear these things, and I'm like, huh?
I'm not sure where that phrase comes from. Maybe it's like, maybe you're blocking the good light that shines upon someone by saying negative things.
Yeah. See that makes more sense to me.
I got you, buddy. Yeah.
But.
Casting I'm going to start saying that, not to try to cast a shadow upon anyone, which that's already a saying, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Huh. Boy, we brought it back. This is a show for teenagers and fully grown adults alike.
And I heard somebody say the other day, numerous times, bussin'. Aaron like that.
I think he knows what that means. What does that mean?
I couldn't tell you.
When something's really, really good.
It's good? Bussin'. I don't like it. I'll never use that. I don't like that at all.
It just rolls off the tongue.
I don't know. It doesn't. I don't like it. It doesn't roll off the tongue at all. That's gross. Sorry, teenagers. Keep listening. So you feel like you missed your calling.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What are you going to do about it? Because I mean, that's what this is about, right? This whole show is
Well,
about.
I didn't know it was about putting me on the spot to see.
So, Adam, what do you plan to do about this? I mean, how do you take that and move forward? Because you're not going to do law enforcement now, probably, right?
No.
You're not. You may not go into politics.
No.
Okay, then clearly you didn't miss what God had planned for you because you're not doing it.
Well, and it's just like the military. I mean, there's not a day that goes by that I don't miss it. Well, I say that a little bit less now.
There's plenty of days that go by that I don't miss it.
But for the longest time, I did. I missed it daily. But I didn't stay active duty.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, there were reasons that I didn't. I loved it. And I had all intentions of being a lifer. But
things happen.
There were things that happened that I was like,
Yeah.
And my first sergeant and wing commander came down and they were like, wait a minute, you're not re-enlisting? I said, no. Anyway, I don't even want to go there as far as, the things that were going on at the time.
Future episode?
But possibly. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Yeah.
So you didn't answer the question, though.
Yeah, I know. I dodged it, didn't I?
Yeah. But now I'm going to ask again. If you feel like you missed your calling, what are you going to do about it? You going to reframe it in your mind? You going to do something else with your life? You going to...
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
I'll have to reframe it in my mind. I'll have to... Well, obviously, kind of like what you said, I didn't miss my calling because right now I'm doing what God intends for me to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't miss my calling, but I just feel that way sometimes. So I need to get past that.
Well, I mean, the fact that you admit it is pretty powerful. We talked about manifesting things on a previous episode. Just sometimes saying these things out loud can change a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree that I get caught up in my own head sometimes about stuff, and perspective we've talked about recently. You've got to gain new perspective, and reading can help you gain new perspective. But no, God's got you where He does for a reason. We're doing this show, trying to help other men.
Yeah.
If you had gone into law enforcement, you might have gotten killed in the line of duty. It might have taken you somewhere else. We might have never met.
Yeah.
And you've helped me personally a lot in my life. Just being friends with you. So.
Yeah, and you made a good point. If I had, let's just say I went to the CIA or whatever. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm sorry. I said it's CIA.
Jason Bourne.
I meant civil service. No.
CIA? Secret Service?
Secret Service, yes. It's early.
It's tough getting old.
Yeah.
He failed the test, actually. Yeah. he tried. He did make it.
Anyway, there's no telling where I might be now. Or if I stayed active duty until retirement. It's possible I may not live anywhere near here.
Well, and think about what's happened to your family. And Kim may not have ever known you.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
You may not have been there for her when, she needed you most.
Yep, that's right.
So you didn't miss your calling. You just had the wrong idea of what it was.
Yeah. I like the way you put that.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Did we put a bow on it? I
believe so.
Awesome. Well, it's been a good episode. I've enjoyed talking about it. I didn't cry completely. Just a little like that. I didn't have to go to the bathroom. Yeah. Anyway, I'm Ethan.
I'm Adam.
Thanks for watching Way to Manhood. Catch you guys next week.
Take care.